Our first practice problem is going to be parentheses 10 plus 38 divided by 6 minus 2. Alright, off to the side, just as a reminder, I'm going to write our PEMDAS. Just as a quick little reminder, we've got P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, S for subtraction. Now remember, on multiplication division, and this is also true of addition subtraction, it is not that multiplication is first and division is second. They are equal in the order, and so we work from left to right if we have a situation where we have to make a decision between multiplication, division, or multiple multiplication steps, or multiple division operations. Alright, so this one's pretty cut and dry though. Because we have the because two sets of parentheses are present, it's hard to say parentheses are present, but there we go. Two sets of parentheses are present, so we're going to take the parentheses on the left first. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as you get the parentheses done first, but just out of force of habit, when we're faced with a situation where we have the same step, basically, just in different spots, let's keep with the habit of working from left to right. That'll just make things a little bit easier when we run into these multiplication, division, or addition and subtraction situations, and we have to remember to work left to right. So let's start here with the 10 plus 38. Alright, so we're just going to do 10 plus 38, and if you need to do that off to the side, you're welcome to, and most of you can probably just do it in your head, but we're going to just do it off to the side. That way we've got our 10 plus 48. We're going to put 48 here. We're going to keep it in the parentheses for now, only because we have another operation that we're going to do. Now, you've got a couple of options here. If you want to really stay true to just doing one step, one operation per level, you can rewrite the problem. That way, this is our first level operation, and then the next one will be our second operation. And we'll go ahead and do that just so everything is nice and neat and clean. But if you want to go ahead and skip ahead and go ahead and do the 6 minus 2 and write the 4 here, you're okay to do that. This is a little bit excessive, but it just gets us in the practice of, okay, this was our first operation, this was our second operation. Alright, and then so we end up with 48 divided by 4. Now, once I'm at this point, I can actually get rid of the parentheses, and to be truthful, I could have gotten rid of the parentheses here, because once you complete all the operations inside of parentheses, then you're okay to eliminate those parentheses when you go to the next step. Alright, so we end up with 48 divided by 4. And we get no remainder there. Shift up just a little bit so you can see. Got no remainder there. And so our final answer is 12. So this was number 1 from our practice problems. All right. Now a good check is to look at, if you're doing your work sort of on the sides around the problem, is to look at how many different operations did you perform. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 operation symbols, but I only have 2 spots where I actually conducted an operation. And if you'll remember, the reason is because I didn't actually write 6 minus 2. I went ahead and just put it as 4 because it was such a simple operation. Alright, so Let's go to number 2. So number 2 is parentheses 13 minus 7 times 13 plus 3. Alright. Now, just because I want you to be able to see it while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and put PEMDAS on the side again. Just as a nice little reminder. That way if I get confused on my steps, and this is an M, I know it looks like an H, but my handwriting is not very good. Okay, so we look at this, and right off the bat, we've got a set of parentheses that we need to deal with. So 13 minus 7, I'm not going to perform that operation on the side. I'm going to assume that everybody knows what 13 minus 7 is. Now, again, once I complete everything that's in the parentheses, I'm good to let the parentheses go away. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to write the rest of it underneath. And so I'm left with 6 times 13 plus 3. So back to my order of operations. There are no more parentheses. I have no exponents or roots. Multiplication, yes I do. So I'm going to have 6 times 13 which is going to give me 78. Now again, I could go ahead and finish this, and I probably could have in my head right here, but I want to really show the different steps because I want you to really focus in on, as we move down the levels, just performing one operation. Now that may seem silly right now. You may think, you know, I can do this in my head, and right now that's true. But when we get into some higher level math, some algebra, that's not going to be the case. You're not going to want to try to do that stuff in your head. You're going to want to put it on paper so that you can see it, and if you do make an error, you can go back and take a look at it. Okay, let's do 2 more. Number 3 is 9 times 4 times parentheses 6 minus 5. Alright, so, you know what? That's too easy. Let's change that to 16 minus 5. Alright, so we need to do what's inside of our parentheses first, and again, just off to the side here, I'm going to, I know my M doesn't look like an M, it looks like an H, but I'm going to write my PEMDAS out again. Alright, so we've got a parentheses, so we need to complete what's inside the parentheses first. 16 minus 5 gives me 11. Now, since I've completed all the operations inside the parentheses, I can get rid of them. So, alright, now we're left with the situation where I have 2 multiplication operations. Now, what we are going to learn later is that it actually, with multiplication, does not matter on the order. So this is not that big of a deal. However, I still want to stay true to my rule, which is if I have multiple multiplication steps or multiplication division steps, I'm going to start at the left and I'm going to work my way to the right. So 9 times 4 is going to give me 36 times 11. And then I'll finish it up by multiplying 36 times 11, which is going to give me 396. Okay. All right, last problem. 4 times 12 times 18 minus 4. I'm crooked here. Oh well. Let's get it off that glare. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put PEMDAS out to the side again, just as a friendly reminder. Okay. Now once again I have something inside the parentheses, so I need to do that operation first. So I need to subtract 4 from 18, which is going to give me 14. And once again, because I've completed the operations inside the parentheses can go away. So I'm going to end up with 4 times 12 times 14. And again, working from left to right, because I have multiple multiplication operations. I have 2 of them. So I'm going to start at the left, do 4 times 8 is 48 times 14, and then finish that up. Slide it up just a little bit so you can see my computations. And I'm going to end up with 672.